Welcome back to Coach. Today's guest is change and transformation coach Clair Knight. Claire is helping graduates and Gen Z strivers find clarity and purpose and develop the confidence to thrive in the workplace. Claire and I met in the spring of 2021 on Jamie Smart's Thriving Coaches Blueprint and have been colleagues on many of Jamie's programs ever since. I was thrilled to finally meet Claire in person just a few weeks ago when I was in London for Clarity Summer Camp. Today is a follow-up of our original Coach to Coach conversation from back in August of 2021. It's hard to believe it's been almost 4 years. At the end of 2024, Claire made the bold move to go all in with her coaching practice and started the Barnfield Bureau. I can't wait to hear all about it. Thanks for joining us today, Claire. It's so nice to see you.
Well, thank you for inviting me back, Greg. It's a real pleasure.
Yeah, I'm like I said in the intro, I'm dying to find out what's going on. So I'm curious what sparked either your interest or the move to branch it on your own and start the Barnfield Bureau.
Well, I think when you look back, it's really easy to join the dots and see the logical path that's led to where we all are in our lives in any given moment. But when we look forward, of course, it feels like a bit more of a blank slate, and the decisions about what next aren't so clear. But as I look back, I can see that actually I've been working towards starting the Barnfield Bureau for a really long time. And from my first interest in coaching, which was originally a sort of coaching at work course run by the Stephen Covey organization, and then over the years, having done other pieces of training whilst also working in the blood service, which is part of the NHS in the UK health service, and other charities. And there have been a number of times where I've wondered whether I was ready to branch out and be bold and make a decisive move. But ultimately, I think the tipping point came when there were so many changes in the workplace that I was part of, that it felt like a good time, and my work there had really been done as much as I could do, and it felt like the right time. So last year, stepped away, and I've lived in such an amazing feeling of alignment and excitement for what's possible ever since. So I think for me, the Barnfield Bureau is an umbrella term. That's the name of my organisation. It's based on my grandparents' home when I was growing up, which was a place for me of great love and acceptance, non-judgment, a place for intergenerational connection and encouragement, and actually lots of food. So a place where, literal nourishment, but also such a loving environment. And so for me, the Barnfield Bureau represents a space where that's possible. And I feel that's really my driving purpose now, is to create a space with services that I can offer that encourage connection, support people non-judgmentally, to really expand into who they want to become, who they know they really are in their quietest moments, to become unstuck from places where they might be feeling not really aligned with their life's purpose, or not really happy, or for people who feel they're in momentum but would like the support to move forward from there. So yeah, it feels like the sum total of a whole load of factors coming together, and also I feel at the start of a whole exciting journey ahead.
I love it. And I love that you picked in that, it would have been easy to just be like Clair Knight Coaching or something, but the fact that you've come up with a name that is meaningful to you and evokes such a connection for you back to your roots and family and all the things you described that symbolizes and stands for. It's to me, it's a great North Star to point yourself to.
That's a great way of putting it. I love the concept of a North Star. I feel
Mm,
like it's, we all have moments of wondering and wandering, and, it's so useful to have a North Star to come back to feel that this is the direction that I want to be going in
mm,
purposefully. And for me, those family connections, that intergenerational support, I see as a manager in lots of different workplaces, I see how it's so needed, that connection between people on at different points in their life's journey. And for me, one of the things that I specifically want to be addressing is the fact that so many young people stepping into adulthood feeling unsure, needing a guiding hand, feeling perhaps behind, feeling anxious, not necessarily feeling a sense of belonging in this new world of work and careers, maybe feeling behind, maybe comparing themselves to others that they see on social media, or others in the same organization who are moving through at a different pace. And it's so helpful, I think, to be um, able to find the right support. Also good for the organizations
mm,
because, we all want a new starter to thrive in the workplace, to be their best, to enjoy it, to feel connected and belonging. And I see that often that doesn't happen. So so for me, the North Star is about belonging,
mm,
about being inclusive, understanding, adaptable, and having a positive approach to how people can work together, connect.
mm. So you mentioned organizations. Are you working through organizations then to work with their employees? Is that kind of the business model you got?
Yeah, so one of the reasons for not being Clair Knight coaching is because what I'm building here, I I aim for it to leave a legacy,
Mm,
and for that to encompass all sorts of services that are aligned with the same mission, really.
mm,
So I've been coaching actually parents of young people, and finally working on a program to launch to support businesses with cohorts of young people, new people new in their career,
mm,
a program that is taking raw talent and putting in some time and attention early on in the career to help people settle in and understand what's expected at work. So yes, that's in the pipeline too, and I'm looking
yeah,
forward to that work sort of really flourishing over the next few years.
yeah. I suppose the old sink or swim model doesn't really work anymore. I mean, you've got so many people who end up sinking, and
Yeah,
organizations just can't operate when a high percentage of their new hires don't make the cut. I mean, it
yeah,
costs them a lot of time, money, and energy to not like they have a vested
yeah,
interest in making it work.
yeah. Well, there are more people off sick in their 20s with anxiety and mental health
Mm,
challenges than there are people in their 50s with health issues.
yeah,
So, it pays to have people feel well and to function
mm,
well and to be nurtured in those early years. It doesn't work for organizations to be losing people early on.
mm,
And, this is a generation of people who are well connected with each other and will not put up with some of the things that, maybe our generation, we didn't know what was okay and not. And so I think there was a lot of, um,
yeah. Our boundaries were certainly different.
yeah, Yeah, so but there's a lot of mutual understanding needed between
Mm,
generations in the workplace, and I see there's a lot of benefit that can be gained from mentoring programs and connections that are consciously, deliberately built. And
yeah.
there's a lot to be learnt in every direction about how can the workplace evolve in this very special transformative time. Workplaces are evolving whether people accept that or not. And our young people, our raw talent, are at the forefront of understanding how that might look and be,
Mm,
and we'll be the ones that need to take that forward. So I think we've got a lot to learn from each other. It's definitely not a one-way street.
yeah.
And I see coaching as an excellent way of helping people explore their experience safely and honestly and constructively.
Mm. You mentioned building something to leave a legacy. Um, I'm curious if you could just paint that picture for us a little bit more. I'm
Yeah,
really curious what that looks like.
yeah. Well, I believe in a world where we respect each other from human to human, that we understand that our own experience is very personal and that we are the sum total of our life experiences and our beliefs. So, with that in mind, I feel driven to find opportunities to help others see the sorts of things that I've seen and understood through my work with various coaches, my own inner work, my own inner journey, that sense of knowing that I'm doing the best I can given my awareness of myself and others in any given time, the sense that we're all equal as human beings or even spiritual beings.
Mm,
Know that the differences that appear so dramatic that people clash over are not who we are as human beings, that we really exist at a deeper, more profound level. And we know as individuals when we're touching that space inside of ourselves that we're talking truly human to human. And I don't see that in an awful lot of workplaces. And I feel that I can bring something, and lots of coaches can. I feel that, I feel there's an obligation to create pockets of awareness around that to shift cultures, organizational cultures, and build confidence with individuals to come from that place themselves.
mm,
So it's a sort of, don't know, big, hairy, audacious goal. I'm just determined to do my bit. And in an ideal world, I have a vision, in 5 to 10 years' time, where alumni from a program that looks at this for young people in the workplace results in a cascade ripple effect where those graduates of that program can create cultures as they become leaders themselves, create cultures which foster um, diversity, belonging, sense of innate wholeness for every individual. That's my goal really
yeah,
over the next 5 to 10 years.
I love it. I was just redoing some of my website, and on there I have a narration of the poem Cargo by Greg Kimura, which in the part of that poem I love is you have gifts, the world needs your gifts, you must deliver them. And when I hear you talk about this big, hairy, audacious goal, I mean, you're just trying to change the world. I mean, it's no big deal.
Only
Uh,
that. Yeah.
but I love that you've tapped into, your gifts and that you're determined to deliver them, and the world needs them. Anyway, yeah, I go back to that poem quite often when I need a little bit of inspiration, self-correcting back to my own North Star.
Yeah, it's ages since I've thought about that poem, but it's such an inspiring one for everybody to read. And I think, really for every young person who doesn't yet know what their cargo, what their special gifts are to carry into the world.
Mm.
I think I would love to inspire every individual I have the privilege to talk to inspire them to feel that they have a cargo and that perhaps they don't yet know what that is, but to know that it exists is an encouraging way of living.
Yeah. Well, as you were talking earlier too, I was imagining, like the distinction between the kind of the workplaces I worked in for my whole career that were defined by stress and pressure and fear and I have a client right now who recently got let go because of a redundancy, but like probably for the last 18 months of her time working there, she went to work every day wondering if that was going to be her last day because there was people being let go all around her. And I think, contrasting that to a culture and an environment that you described in terms of people being connected and working from their true selves and tapping into their own unique gifts and things like, um, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that the companies that get that figured out and can operate with a culture like that will crush the ones that are operating, in the pressure cooker of fear and anxiety. Um,
For sure.
it only makes like it's a no-brainer economic model uh,
Yeah.
to me in my mind. Anyways, so that's great. I wonder if, in terms of if there's any examples you can share with us about without naming names, obviously, but uh, coaching a young person in this area or anything that really gets your message across in terms of what coaching has to offer people in terms of
Yeah.
real examples.
Well, one quite dramatic example was a young person who was really brilliantly academic and had done very well at school with excellent results and a great university place. Um, it was a very competitive situation to win that place. And yet, on arrival at university, it was not how it had been previously imagined. So many things about that life as a student, leaving home, going off to a different city, the people, what they seemed to like doing, the way of life. It was massively anxiety provoking. And I was contacted by a parent who wanted to offer some support to their child. And the conversations we had over probably about 3 months, all in all, saw a transformation from I want to leave, I can't even visit home because if I go home, I won't want to come back. I'm going to try and hang on till the holidays, not visit home because I hate it so much. Lots of phone calls home to parents, not liking it, really unhappy. So that's a really difficult situation for everybody, that young person, for the parents who want everything to be working well for their kid. It impacts on performance in an academic setting, and it might have meant that that person with a brilliant career ahead of them dropped out and didn't continue. But the coaching that we did over a period of time, and it's always best to create a bespoke package that actually speaks to the reality of the situation. So we spanned the coaching all the way to the holidays, over the holiday period, and coming back after the holidays with a vision of coming back at the heart of it, if that was right for the person. Anyway, that was a number of years ago. They did excellently at university. They did come back after the holidays. They found their own path. They found their own tribe. They excelled at their studies and have secured themselves a really amazing job now. You know, I follow enthusiastically their path as
Mm.
they move forward in life. And I think there are so many people who aren't able to access the support that could hold them steady or help them decide. You know, sometimes the right thing is to make a change for good reason,
Mm.
but to be able to um, be honest in a safe place with a person who isn't going to get swept away with wanting a particular outcome.
Mm.
And I just think that person's life now could have gone very differently. The trajectory is is incredible to watch.
Mm.
So that's been a big inspiration for me to see what's possible.
Yeah, I love that story. Well, I relate to it. Both my kids are in university and have had,
Mm.
you know, they're normal kids, so they've had their fair share of adjustments and struggles and ups and downs. The phrase "I hate it" or "this" has been uttered many times in our household, when it came to whether it's specific classes or the whole experience or a particular situation. So, and it's such uh, a telling word, I guess, hate. Like it's just such a sharp word that and the feeling that comes with it. Like my heart goes out to my own kids and all the kids that have
Yeah.
to deal with that. So I love what you're doing. Um, and I love what you said about, the role of the coach not having a horse in the race. You didn't use those words, but like
Yeah.
a predetermined outcome. Like you know, I can imagine the parents are like, go coach my kid and make sure they stay in university. But you know, that's not how it works. It only works if you go there with no attachment to any particular outcome. And it's peeling back the layers and letting you know, for me, it always comes back to, what does the person want? What do they want to create? Uh, and recognizing that they're the creator.
It's all those things we were talking about a moment ago, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's like no matter how old you are, know the feeling of being okay and is this right for me or isn't it?
Yeah.
And there can be anxious thinking laid on top of a path that we've chosen for
Mm.
ourselves. And things aren't always easy. And actually, as a human being, I can confess that, in my parental role,
Yeah.
often I am not saying the right things or
Mm.
being the most helpful person
Yeah.
for my kids because I do have a horse in that race. I
Yeah.
do have opinions, but somehow when that's the beauty, isn't it, of finding that support outside of the home or even sometimes outside of the workplace or the establishment,
Yeah.
educational establishment. Sometimes you just need a really clean listening ear
Yeah.
that
Absolutely.
can be.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll put my hand up and say guilty also, like when it comes to being a husband or a parent, I somehow find the way to say the exact wrong thing at the wrong time more often than I care to admit.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
But that's what
Mm,
makes life fun.
yeah.
Um, I mean, for some people, this is a hard question. For other people, it's easy. So I'm curious how it turns out for you. But if there was one thing you'd want people to take away from this conversation, what would that one thing be?
Mm, it could well be the same thing I said 4 years ago, which is for people to know that they're whole that they have an innate wisdom at work all of the time, whether that's visible or felt or not. And I've come to see that in my own life. I've come to see that even when I do say the wrong things to my own kids, I'm doing the best I can, and so are they. And underneath that, I am whole, and so are they. So even if I say the wrong thing to them, it doesn't damage an undamageable thing, which is their capacity as a human being to make a good decision for themselves.
Love it. I love that it's the same thing that you said 4 years ago. Just to me rings, it rings that much truer that it's such a constant, um,
Mm.
like a universal or a truth, however you want to phrase it. But yeah, excellent. Well, if people want to get a hold of you or find out more about the Barnfield Bureau, where
Yeah.
can they get more information?
So my email is Claire, that's Claire with all the things, Claire at barnfieldbureau.com. Also, I'm on LinkedIn, so a direct message on LinkedIn is always welcome. And I love conversations with people, however exploratory or just friendly, you
Mm,
know? So, yeah, it's really interesting to find out if anything that I'm interested in resonates for other people. And I love collaborating and working together. That's at the heart of the Barnfield Bureau. So, yes, LinkedIn or by email.
great. Well, this has exceeded all my expectations of how
Oh,
enjoyable a conversation it would be, and so thank you for that. And I don't know, we'll book this again in another 4 years and see how you're doing.
yeah, let's. Oh, well, I'm always grateful of a chance to catch up, and it was brilliant seeing you a few weeks ago in person for the first time,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it won't be the last.
Hopefully not the
So
last time. Yeah,
no, it won't.
yeah, yeah.
Cool.
There's only an ocean in between us, so it can't hold us back forever.
No.
Awesome. Well,
In
thanks.
between, we're online, aren't we?
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah. Well, I'm always amazed. I have a call later this evening with one of our colleagues from Australia. So so it's going to be like 7 or 8 p.m. for me, and it's the next morning for him. I always feel like I'm talking to somebody in the future. Um, but I love that about the community that Jamie's created, and what the opportunity that technology gives us to make the world a small place. So
well, let's keep those ripples going out.
yeah,
So thank
absolutely.
you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you. We'll see you again soon.